All right. I imagine that everybody who is a Nightmare on Elm Street fan thinks they know everything there is to know about Freddy Krueger, right? Even myself. I was watching Kill Count, which this dude is like real good at what he does. Now, um, and he does them on pretty much all the videos. I mean, all the movies. However, I mean, there are some kills that he left out. I mean, no offense, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there are some kills that you left out. Uh, and another thing, I mean, it's no, you know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with him, but he made me think about something. And I'm sitting here watching Freddy's Nightmares too. On my Fire Stick. I didn't even think they had Freddy's Nightmares on the Fire Stick. Anyway, with me sitting here watching this, I'm watching the first episode, No More Mr. Nice Guy. It made me stop and think about Freddy's story, which was not completely told, even with Part 6. With Part 6 and the stupid remake. Yeah, if you heard me play anybody from Platinum Dunes, yes, I call the remake stupid because it is. And anybody who's a real Freddy fan will tell you it's stupid. Uh, However, getting to my point, Freddy's story was never completely told. Yes, the story started off as Freddy being a child molester or whatever. However, it was changed to, especially to getting an official movie rating, a good movie rating. Uh, it was changed to die down to child murderer. Now, back in part 6, which was Craven kind of had nothing to do with, but it was more like a WB slash New Line Cinema slash Robert Shea thing. Anyway, getting down to my point, that is where you hear more about Freddy's daughter. And he even said himself, Freddy said himself, to Catherine, they took you away from me, but I made them pay. And so he said he took their children away from them. In other words, it means, at least from my gathering, and a lot of y'all other people probably think the same way that I'm thinking. It means that the people who, I mean, I imagine Freddy was doing some killing long beforehand, but even with him doing killing long beforehand, it means that the killing got worse um before he died and after he turned into the Freddy Krueger we know and love now. So pretty much means when either like before he went on his killing sprees or during his killing sprees, one of the two, it means that Maggie was taken from him at some point, causing him to go crazy and making things a lot worse than what they are. Then he got burned alive after killing more kids. And then when he got burned alive, then he got turned into the Freddy Krueger we know and love. Then that's when things just went haywire and then turned into the Nightmare on Elm Street we know and love today. So all in all, Freddy's story never got completely told. All we see is, oh, Freddy's this, Freddy's that, Freddy's a child molester, child. No, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know Freddy as a child murderer. Platinum Dunes knows him as a child molester, child, you know what I'm saying, just whatever. It's not like that. Yes, it's like I said, yes, it did start off like that, but it's not like that. If it was like that, then, you know what I'm saying, like, we just started that back from the beginning. But it's not a child rapist, child molester, whatever. You know what I'm saying? When people remake stuff, they make it seem way worse than what it was. Some remakes actually tend to make some stuff better. Like, for example, the Batman movies. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got a little something better. Bane, however, I mean, don't get me started on the Batman movies. Please don't. This is about Freddy Krueger. I mean, don't get me started on a lot of remakes, actually. A lot of them just sucked. Anyway, I mean, there's some stuff missing, and there's some stuff, just, that don't make sense here and there in a lot of movies. Like, for example, something I noticed And I mean, like, of course, you ain't finna stick to the same story over and over and over because it's gonna get bored eventually, and then it's gonna cause you to stop watching a movie. Like, okay, for some movies, it's like, okay, the first movie, and then like one or two sequels, the character dies, and that's it. I get that. Like, for example, Child's Play, Chucky, um, they did Child's Play 2, and Child's Play 3. Then that's where Andy sort of just died off for a while, and then he came back in, God, what was that? Wasn't Seed of Chucky. He didn't come back till Cult of Chucky, if I'm thinking about that just right. Anyway, you understand? In other words, you don't see him for a while. You know what I'm saying? Chucky goes off on other little ventures or whatnot. Um, but the point is, I can kind of see how or why they would, go with, uh, with Nancy doing, you know, one movie and sort of killing Freddy, and then Jesse coming into the picture. I don't even see how that happened, but uh, in retrospect, I see what I kind of think what they should have done. I mean, I see Freddy going after teenagers and stuff all the time, but like, we don't even know what grade Nancy was even in. We don't know if she was a senior in high school. We don't know if she was a freshman, sophomore, junior. Freddie probably could have still had his back and forth time with Nancy, and some other students. But, like, pretty much Nancy was like the only survivor of the movie. Nancy and her pops. Because her mom still got killed. Her other friends still got killed. Uh, I mean, even though Freddie drove off with them in the car, but we don't ever see from the other characters again. The last character we ever see from during that entire saga is Nancy. Literally. And then she dies in part 3. I mean, so we have no idea what happened to Rod, Tina, Glenn, nobody. Like, we don't know if they were officially killed off or nothing. Then comes part 2. It's like, Jesse and Lisa and all these kids, like, where are they coming from? I mean, I can see, where they would come from if everybody from the first one had died, and then, like, they have to find a way to do something with Freddy. I could see that, but you still got a little, there's a little something to. I'm sorry, I started off this video doing one thing, and then I got started with a whole nother thing. But anyway, uh, my original point for this was Freddy's story was never completely told, especially with his daughter. Like, especially now I'm watching Freddy's Nightmares, his story was never fully told. Because on the one hand, they're talking about him being a child rapist or a child molester, or a child whatever. Child rape, not rapist. uh, Child killer, yes. Or teen killer, yes. Killer in general, yes. Rapist, molester, however you look at it, pedophile, no. No to all of the above. But it's just like, if you're gonna do something with a character, do it. But if you're gonna try and change it, don't change it. That's like saying, okay, Michael Myers is gonna be like 6'5" with a white mask that supposedly never ever, the facial expression never ever changes. Well, if you look at the Halloween movies really closely, especially the remake, if you look at, some scenes in the movies, if you look at them just right, it seems like Michael ends up getting a frown, especially in certain killing scenes. He seems to get a frown. Like when he was a kid and put on the mask that his sister's boyfriend brought home, the one that we actually know. When we put that on, it's like when he was down the hall with the knife, it just seemed to be like that. It's like, I thought his facial expression wasn't supposed to change. So there's so much stuff that changes. not just with remakes. It's just with movies in general. It's like, wait, it ain't supposed to change, but yet there it does. Is just stuff just messes up all the time. And then we as fans, we pay attention to it, and then we make YouTube videos about it, and it's like, okay, I see your point. And then somebody else comes in, makes a video behind that video, and it's like, oh, well, you forgot about this. No, never forgot about it. Just I wanted to put straight emphasis on one thing. Then you end up making, I end up going into details about another thing to compare to the thing that I was originally making my video be about. And it's just, I just tend to ramble. That's what that is. That's all that is I have a tendency to ramble. And like pretty much, I can go on forever, really. Jason, like, I'm a fan of Jason, but not like a super. Like, if it came down to Freddy versus Jason, technically, I think since Freddy was kind of the weaker of the two, like physical strength, I think Freddy should have won the match. That's not the only reason. Don't get me wrong, for all Freddy fans out there, that is not the only reason. I think he should have won the match, technically, because you know what I'm saying. Okay, Jason, like, he's a very, very hard character to stop. A lot like Michael Myers, but Jason's more of a zombie, you know. So he's like a really, really strong, faster moving zombie. And, and then Freddy Krueger, on the other hand, he's like a vulnerable in the real world, uh, but yet unstoppable in his own world. Dream demon. And that's one reason why I feel Freddy should have won. Another reason is it's like at the end of Freddy versus Jason, you see Jason holding Freddy's head like this, and then Freddy looks up, actually he's looking up and then looks down at him. That's like that. So that ought to tell you something. Like, if Freddy's still alive, then they should have made a sequel right after that. Like, they should have gotten to work on that sequel as soon as that ended. Like, no one, Freddy fans like myself, and probably a ton of other people out there that end up seeing this video, was like, why haven't they made this sequel yet? Like, this would have been like the perfect opportunity to make a sequel. Now, on the other hand, I can also see even though they made Freddy's Nightmares, great TV show, I think Freddy should have had a lot more appearances than what he had, but it's still a great TV show. But I still think that Freddy should be a lot like HBO's Spawn. I think that it could be a great cartoon series. If they would have made a cartoon series out of A Nightmare on Elm Street, like, and it doesn't have to be just like the movies. Like, it doesn't have to like start off with like Nancy and that be like season 1, like just a whole bunch of fights between Freddy and Nancy, and then like he kills off Nancy and Nancy's dead, and then it goes into like season 2 goes into Jesse, and then it's like back and forth with Jesse. He's in and out of possession of Jesse's body, like that. I mean, it sounds cool, but it's like we're watching a movie all over again, but in cartoon form. While extended, while it would extend over some episodes and stuff would change, and there's a lot more voice acting to do, it would be fun to watch, but we'd be basically watching the same thing that we were watching before. However, on the other hand, if they were to put like a new cast in there, get new people to get used to, stuff like that, and I'm hella good at Freddy's voice, by the way. It's not, like, Nightmare on Elm Street is not as fun without Robert Englund. And Robert, if you're watching this, this is basically, like, this is for you. Like, not just the voice, but this whole thing is for you. I'd say the same thing about Wes Craven, but he died. Rest in peace. Like I would love for this to see this in action. Like an actual Nightmare on Elm Street animated series, like, and not something that you will play on Saturday mornings in the Saturday morning lineup. No, you can't. That's something you can't do. That ain't something for you. You know what I'm saying, for your kids to watch. While your kids would know who Freddy is, that's just not something for your kids to watch. I mean, because like I said, it would be like the HBO series Spawn. And Spawn, that's a nasty TV show. Like, I mean, nasty in more in a couple of ways. But still, I mean, I think that it would be cool. And, like, they actually come out with, like, a Dream Warriors uh, era to the show. Like, literally. And it doesn't have to be season 3. I'm just saying they come out with, like, part of it that's, like, the Dream Warriors. And maybe they be the same characters, maybe they wouldn't. But I think that would be pretty cool. Or they come out with like Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors animated series, but either they be all new Dream Warriors or they'd be, the same Dream Warriors. But I mean, the people who play the Dream Warriors, they're kind of older now, so it wouldn't be as fun, or it wouldn't be. You'd have to get used to hearing different voices, but it would still be fun to see that. But still, I mean, eventually they'd have to get killed off or something like that. So the show would have to extend over a period of time. Like, we'd at least have to go like, 7 or 8 seasons. At least it'd be a good. The first season would have to be a good 20 or 30 episodes, maybe 15, 20 episodes, and have to see about 10, 15 murders within that 20 episode season, which I think would be cool. However, you know what I'm saying, like, we'd have to go kind of slow. It'd have to be like some to be continued episodes and stuff like that. Anyway, like, I jumped all the way off topic, but I think, well, like, it would be nice for like the first episode or two to be, or even the first whole season to be about Freddy losing his daughter. Like, Freddy and his bonding with his daughter, and like the murders and like all of that mixed in one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole first season. Like Freddy, like, I don't know, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the series, but obviously not Freddy. Like, just A Nightmare on Elm Street, the animated series, and then like season 1 would just be like called The Beginning, or Freddy Krueger, The Beginning. Then everything after that just starts rolling in and be like, okay, this looks familiar, like, and then this is all new, like, because it is. That's all new, like, and like, you kind of like season 2 and 3 and whatnot, like, all those sort of roll through what we already know, and then maybe here and there, like, stuff starts rolling up to the point of Freddy versus Jason. And then that's like the final season, or maybe that's like the movie of it. And then instead of what actually happened, maybe we might get a reverse, and maybe Freddy wins. I don't know. I think that will be a bomb cartoon, though. I mean, there might be some of y'all that actually agree. It might be some of y'all with better ideas, but I just think that would be cool. And like I said, Robert England, if you are listening to this, if you're watching this, think about it. Just think about it. If anybody from New Line is watching this right now, think about it. Anyway, got a jet.